friendship that'll never ever end.
Run!
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Reaction Beanie Yo 465. In that neighborhood, my brothers and sisters. As we proceed to give you what you need, we are going back to the lazy Masquerade. Back to the lazy man. Hope y'all doing excelente out there today. And I'm glad that you came on back to the channel once again to fuck with the bean. And the title of the video is Cases with Disturbing Video Evidence. Now, just from the title, y'all, the main thing I'm wondering is, even though there is video evidence of some of this stuff happening in these cases, are people still not gonna be charged for this? You know what I'm saying? Like, is there gonna be like evidence on film, on tape, on the recording that this person did this act, but they still not gonna get charged for the crime? You know what I'm saying, man? Like, I feel like that's where we're gonna go in some of these cases, but I don't know, y'all. I don't freaking know. I'm just excited to be here as always, and most definitely because we ain't been to the lazy man in like 2.5 weeks now, man. We way overdue to check out another video from the lazy man. And he actually put this out 10 months ago, y'all. Like, I just randomly kind of like just picked the video out for us to watch. And that's what we're about to do. But before we do that, my brothers and sisters, y'all know what y'all got to do. Get whatever you may need. Get what you need, please. We back to the lazy man, Mr. Masquerade. Y'all got what y'all need, y'all ready to go? Then let's go. The lazy.
Do you find yourself scrolling through YouTube late at night, looking for some new, unsettling content to enjoy? Well, look no further than Haunt TV, a channel.
The lazy with his commercials. Y'all know how he started his videos off. I just had to make sure, was it a commercial or not, because it'd be hard to tell sometimes if it's a commercial or if it's not. But y'all F with Hunt TV, and we're gonna start right here. Let's go.
Watch more on Hunt TV YouTube.
They say that hell hath no fury like a woman scorned, and this first case is a testament to that. With evidence caught on a Ring doorbell camera, this is the story of Austin's fatal love triangle. 25-year-old athlete and Dartmouth graduate Anna Mariah Wilson, or Mo as she preferred to be called, was a former downhill skier turned world-class pro gravel racer. She took up professional cycling in 2019, and by 2021 was already dominating pretty much every race she took part in. No surprise, given that she came from a family of athletes. Vivacious, successful, and yet still humble, Mo spent her free time cooking, writing and travelling. She particularly loved Italy, Taco Tuesdays, maple creamies, and playing Settlers of Catan with friends. In October of 2021, Mo won her first big race in Brentonville, Arkansas, the 103.8-mile Big Sugar. It was while celebrating that evening that she met an admirer, Caitlin Cash, a fellow female rider who had been following Mo's career with interest. The pair quickly became good friends, and within a few weeks, Mo was frequently crashing at Cash's house on Maple Avenue, Austin. The pair spent most evenings discussing upcoming races over home-cooked meals. It was during that time that Mo's career really began to take off, with her winning almost every single big race that she took part in. Gravel Hugger Rock Cobbler, Sea Otter, the Belgian Waffle Ride. Mo was quickly making a name for herself in the world of professional cycling. A rising star in the prime of her life. A real force to be reckoned with on the track. The bookie's favourite in near most every race she participated in. But it was while her candle was burning brightest that it would, sadly, be extinguished.
Here we go.
That autumn, at a race in the Rocky Mountains surrounding Ketchum, Mo met fellow pro cyclist Colin Strickland. The American gravel racer community is said to be small and closely knit, with members often lending each other a helping hand and looking out for one another. In this sea of friendly faces, Colin stood out to Mo as one of the nicest and most charming. He helped Mo get several sponsorship deals and described her as the best female cyclist in the country, and possibly the world. The pair had a brief romantic relationship that lasted until the end of the season. Text messages shared between the two later showed that by January, the couple were on a break. They did have.
Okay, so from what Lazy Man said earlier about the whole love triangle thing, somebody gonna come in between them, and I'm thinking that it's gonna be the guy that get jealous because Mo have moved on to this next person or whoever, and he gonna end up doing something terrible. You know what I'm saying? It's a love triangle, and we got two of the people right here, and that next person is when it's gonna get all effed up because somebody gonna be jealous, and I think it's gonna be the dude. Let's go.
However, remain good friends and often met to go riding. Now, it's not unusual for young relationships to fizzle out for one reason or another, but in most cases, the consequences of those relationships aren't fatal. In May 2022, Mo was back in Austin, and once again, staying at Cash's place on Maple Avenue, preparing for Gravel Locos, a big race in nearby Hyco. On the warm, spring evening of May 11th, Mo went out for a swim with Colin, with whom she was still in regular contact. After a dip in nearby Deep Eddy Pool, the pair had dinner together at a local burger joint. Colin dropped Mo back at the house at 8:24 PM, by which point Cash had already gone out for dinner with a group of friends. When Cash returned at 10 PM that night, she found the front door unlocked, and after entering, was greeted with silence. That was odd. An app on her phone had alerted her that her front door had unlocked at around 8:30 PM. With furrowed brow, Cash pushed open the door to the bathroom and turned on the light. Sprawled out on the floor in front of her was her best friend, Mo Wilson.
And I bet from the time that she walked in that house, when she realized her front door, I'm talking about Cash, when she realized the freaking front door was unlocked, like, put yourself in that situation, y'all. The freaking front door for unlocked. So you gonna first and foremost already think like this could be some effed up ish I'm walking into. You don't know if it's a stranger in there. You don't know if the person, and in this case, Mo, the person you living with, is they there? Are they still alive? Like it already just kind of like just give you those chills down your spine and through your body that just make you say, what the F? See, me personally, if I was to walk in my goddamn front door and it's unlocked, I'm walking in there with something cocked. You know what I'm saying? I'm walking in there with something in the chamber, walking around like this looking. For real, y'all. Let's go.
Covered in blood and completely unresponsive. As her autopsy would later reveal, she had been shot twice in the head, and then once again in the chest after she had collapsed onto her back.
Damn.
The rounds used to end her life had been 9mm jags, which break apart on impact, causing devastating damage. Only one thing was missing from the house: Mo's bike. It was found tossed in a bamboo grove just 68 feet from the house's entrance. Since there weren't any signs of a forced entry, the authorities immediately paid a visit to the prime suspect, Colin Strickland, the person who had last seen Mo alive. He denied ever entering Cash's home after dropping Mo off that night. After investigators reviewed footage from Cash's Ring surveillance camera, it was clear he was telling the truth. That footage showed Colin dropping Mo off and then leaving on his motorcycle. But that same footage went on to reveal something else. Just 2 minutes after Colin departed from the scene, a black Jeep Grand Cherokee with a bike rack on the back drove past Cash's house. the vehicle was quickly identified. It belonged to a 34-year-old woman named Caitlin Armstrong, a cyclist, a yoga teacher, a licensed realtor, and also the long-time living girlfriend of Colin Strickland.
Wow.
He and Caitlin had been together since 2019. They had built a business together, shared an apartment, the whole shebang. They were quite different people, but they supported each other. However, in late October of 2021, around the time when he met Mo, Colin ended his relationship with Caitlin, saying that she deserved someone better. Just a few short days later, he began dating Mo. Not the classiest of moves, but he had at least officially ended things with Caitlin instead of sneaking around behind her back. When news of Colin's new romance reached Caitlin though, she contacted Mo directly and told her to back off. In fact, she called her so many times that Mo blocked her number. Time passed. Caitlin stewed in her jealousy, and Colin and Mo decided to remain just friends. By January of 2022, Colin and Caitlin had rekindled their relationship. Things were as they once were. Except they weren't. Behind Caitlin's back, and against her wishes, Colin continued seeing Mo. It's yet to be confirmed whether the two of them were still involved romantically, or if they were just meeting up platonically. But whatever the case, Colin obviously knew he was doing something he shouldn't be. He had saved Mo's number under a different name in his phone, and strategically deleted text messages so Caitlin would never know that they were still in contact. After all, what she didn't know wouldn't hurt her, right?
Wrong, because she gonna find out, man. But no, y'all, I had this one wrong, me, because I was saying, like, I was thinking that it was gonna be Colin, the one who got jealous. But come to find out, it's his ex-girlfriend, the one who got jealous. And it's still just a love triangle that turned deadly, man. Rest in peace to Mo. Rest in peace to Mo. Like, I don't get it, man. How could you kill her because you mad because your ex-boyfriend with her? Like, is that her fault? Like, if you break up with somebody, do you think that they never go, so you just expect them to just be single for the rest of their life? You know what I'm saying? And Colin the one who really broke up with Caitlin, but I'm just saying, like, or do you really just think that either you gonna be with me or nobody else can have you? Because if they do try to have you, I'm gonna make sure they don't. That's the crazy way that these people out here be thinking. It's so illogical, y'all, at least to me. Let's go.
Trouble was, Caitlin found out. According to the authorities, she learned that Colin was going for a swim with Mo on May 11th after looking through his laptop, which he had accidentally left open on his countertop. Mo had sent Colin a message that morning, saying, "Hey, so I'd like to talk to you at some point. I'd originally texted you on Friday, but it appears my texts aren't going through again. This weekend was strange for me, and I just want to know what's going on. If you just want to be friends, which seems to be the case, then that's cool. But I'd like to talk about it. 'Cause honestly, my mind's been going in circles, and I don't know what to think." Colin then set up a rendezvous for later that day. The pair of them swam and ate burgers, completely unaware that a scorned Caitlin was following them, watching them from a distance. She trailed them back to Cash's home, and after Colin was gone, wasted no time in exacting her revenge. We don't know yet how Caitlin gained access to the building. Either Mo had left the front door unlocked, or she had let Caitlin in to talk things over, or she had assumed that it was Colin ringing the doorbell. We also don't know if any words were exchanged between the two women, or if Mo was caught completely off guard by her killer. All we can say with certainty is that in a fit of jealous rage, Caitlin fired 3 shots into her love rival. Rather than blame her potentially cheating partner, she chose to blame the other woman. And
exactly, man. That's what I'm saying, man. Like, if anybody, you should be mad at Colin. Why are you mad at Mo? Why you feel like you gotta eliminate her from you in his life when he the one who choosing to be effing with her? That the logic behind this is just stupid, man.
Instead of walking away, she chose vengeance. The Ring camera footage was damning enough, but on top of that, a friend of Caitlin's also called in a tip to the authorities. Apparently, days before the killing took place, Caitlin had confessed to this friend that Colin's fling with Mo had angered her greatly. This friend advised Caitlin to simply dump Colin and move on. Caitlin explained that she and Colin were now in a much better place, but that if Mo ever got between them again, she would kill her. Caitlin also admitted that she had obtained a Sig Sauer P365 and that she'd been going to the firing range with her sister to learn how to use it. This friend didn't take Caitlin's words too seriously, but once news of Mo's slaughter became public, she immediately knew who had pulled the trigger. Officers picked Caitlin up the day after Mo's slaying on an unrelated warrant out for her. She had apparently gotten Botox surgery several months prior and run off without paying.
Wow.
During her initial interrogation, detectives noted that Caitlin was, quote, very still and didn't move at all. She remained silent when shown this video of her vehicle passing the crime scene minutes before Mo's life was taken. She refused to opine on why a spent shell casing from her 9mm matched perfectly with the shells at the scene. When questioned about the secret relationship between Colin and Mo, she apparently turned her head and rolled her eyes in an angry manner. She mostly referred to Mo as that girl. Not only was Caitlin giving off all the telltale signs of guilt, but there was a monumental amount of evidence against her. It was clear to the investigators that they were talking with Mo's killer. However, during that same interview session, it came to light that the arrest warrant wasn't valid. Somebody had filled in the wrong date of birth.
What?
Because of that, they had to let Caitlin walk free.
Wow.
The following day, she sold her black Jeep Grand Cherokee, and before the authorities could re-arrest her, she went on the run, disappearing from their radar entirely. For the next month and a half, detectives worked tirelessly to track Caitlin Armstrong down and bring her to justice, but there was no trace of her anywhere. Eventually it came to light that their missing fugitive hadn't only fled the state, but had fled the country.
Wow.
Surveillance images captured at Newark International Airport on May 18th showed Caitlin boarding a flight bound for San Jose, Costa Rica. It's believed that she made use of her sister's identity and passport to escape the US. Thanks to a combined effort with the Costa Rican authorities, US investigators were able to pinpoint Caitlin's exact location. She was finally apprehended on June 29th, 2022, having spent...
I'm glad they caught her ass though, man. I'm glad they caught her because her spending all that time, like all her actions and stuff, all the time that she's spending trying to evade the police and stuff, all those days and stuff, you making yourself seem even more guilty. You know what I'm saying? They let you out because of they effed up and charged you wrong or something, Lazy Man said, but they let you out, and then what you do? Try to evade the police for all these freaking days, man. You making yourself look more guilty. If you was innocent, you would be upfront and very transparent with the police, right?
Spent 43 days on the run.
43.
As it turned out, Caitlin had managed to make her way down to Santa Teresa Beach, a historical hideaway for people who wanted to disappear completely. There, she had reportedly undergone plastic surgery and drastically altered her appearance.
You see what I'm saying, my brothers and sisters? Like, she doing so much that just make you look even more guilty. Now you're changing your whole appearance up.
She had then spent the better part of a month bouncing between hostels, checking in using a variety of different aliases. Yet, despite her best efforts, she had been unable to outrun her pursuers. With dyed hair, a bandaged nose, and discoloured eyes, she tried to convince her arresting officers that she wasn't this Caitlin Armstrong they were looking for. But, realizing that the jig was up, soon gave up the act, and was extradited back to Texas. As it currently stands, Caitlin Armstrong has pled not guilty to Mo's homicide, and is being held on a $3.5 million bond in Travis County Jail. She claims that she fled the US and changed her appearance, not because she was guilty, but because she was trying to hide from her murderous ex, Colin.
Hold on, take it back real quick, my brothers and sisters. Take it back real quick.
She claims that she...
Look at this picture, man. This lady done changed up her nose. She done changed her mouth up, it looked like. She's tried her best. Like, why would you do all that and then talking about to hide from your ex? Like, you just coming up with craziness that don't make no sense. Only thing it's doing is making you look more guilty. That's it. Look how she tried to change her face up. Really? Really?
Fled the US and changed her appearance, not because she was guilty, but because she was trying to hide from her murderous ex, Colin Strickland, the person actually responsible for Mo's demise. There's no evidence that that was the case. Caitlin's trial is set to begin on October 30th this year. No doubt, new details related to the incident will come to light then. As for Colin Strickland, he's remained mostly silent about this whole thing, though that hasn't stopped thousands of people online from voicing their opinions about him. Many have taken to his social media accounts, saying that he's indirectly responsible for what happened to Mo, that his lies were the spark that lit Caitlin's fuse, and that he is equally as guilty as her. Others have come to his defense, stating that even though Colin was cheating on Caitlin, he wasn't in any way responsible for her actions. The fact of the matter is that although being unfaithful isn't moral, it isn't against the law either.
True.
Even so, while Caitlin faces the consequences for her actions in a court of law, Colin will have to do the same in the court of public opinion. Mariah Wilson's life was short, but by all accounts, she lived it to the fullest, and her legacy continues to inspire others to take up cycling and lead a healthier life.
Rest in peace to Mo, man. What y'all think, y'all? What do y'all think about as far as like, what's his name? Scott? The guy, Scott? Colin. I think his name Colin, man. Colin, do y'all think that he should like be like, I'm not gonna even say held accountable, but say that it's his fault that Mo is dead just as much as it is Caitlin. You know what I'm saying? Like, for me personally, at the end of the day, he didn't make Caitlin do none of that. She did that on her own will and all that. Even though he was a cheating mother, you know what, and was dealing with these two women and playing with their emotions, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, Caitlin, that did not mean that you had to go kill that lady, man. And not only did you kill her and all that, but I'm stuck on the fact, y'all, that you pled not guilty and you did all these different things to make yourself look even more guilty, changing your appearance, fleeing the United States. You know what I'm saying? Like trying to evade the police and all that. You making yourself look guilty, but then you say you still not guilty. Lady, you're freaking guilty, man. We all know that you did that. Your car was there on video. They got you riding by. Like it then out right after you sell the freaking car. What that's gonna do other than make you look more guilty? Like, it's just, man, I don't know. And Colin, I mean, yeah, I guess you can say in a way, yes, his actions influenced Caitlin to kill her, but I don't feel like he should be held accountable as far as like charges being, like he shouldn't be in prison for this. I'll just say that. Long story short, short story long. Let's go to the last one. Matt Flores.
26-year-old military officer and all-around nice guy, Matt Flores, was a young, ambitious man with a bright future ahead of him. Matt enjoyed his time serving in the US Army very much. The camaraderie, the adrenaline, the sense of adventure, and he had made quite the name for himself during Operation Desert Storm. But then 1994 came, and Matt's circumstances changed. His wife Denise had just given birth to their daughter, Danielle. For obvious reasons, Matt was eager to find a less hazardous job and spend more time with his loved ones. After serving 4 years with the US Army, Matt was honorably discharged.
I just couldn't believe the amount of people here, the amount of support.
Just 1 month later, he landed his dream job at Applied Materials Incorporated, a computer company based in Silicon Valley. The early 90s was a time of huge technological advancement. The internet was beginning to be adopted by the masses, and as a result, computers were becoming both more sophisticated and accessible, and Matt was going to be a part of that exciting leap forward. With a spring in his step, he relocated to California with his wife and daughter. This was Matt's big opportunity, his chance to work a normal 9-to-5 job and provide for his family, far away from harm's reach. At least, that was the plan. Each morning, Matt arrived for training at Building 12 of Applied Materials, located at 3225 Oakmead Village Drive, Santa Clara. His company planned on transferring him to Dallas, but first, Matt needed to complete several months of training. To help him commute, his new company had rented him a vehicle, a white Chevy Corsica. On March 24th, 1994, at precisely 8:12 AM, Matt arrived for his 9th day of training at Applied Materials. He parked his Corsica in an unassigned space like he always did. At 8:14 AM, the sound of a loud pop rang out through the car park. The noise startled one of Matt's co-workers, a woman who was sitting in the car parked in front of his, listening to a radio program. She immediately turned around and saw a smartly dressed man slumped to the ground. She cautiously exited her vehicle and approached the man. He was frozen in the kneeling position, his head and shoulders slumped against his white car. A fountain of red liquid was pouring from the back of his skull. After a moment of confusion, the reality of the situation dawned on the woman, and she let out a bone-chilling scream. Approximately 20 people were in the car park at the time, and they all gathered to see what the commotion was about. "Help!" screamed the woman. "This man's been shot!" A senior employee named Gary Robertson picked up the lifeless victim's wallet and removed his driver's license. Gary instantly recognized the name and face on the ID. It was the man he had recently hired, Matt Flores.
And it's just so crazy, y'all, that the fact that there was like 20 people in the parking lot when whoever did this shot Matt. You know what I'm saying, man? Like, I don't know if we gonna get some witnesses or whatever within this story, but you would think that somebody would see something, and not only that, whoever killed him, you would think that y'all ain't worried about nobody actually seeing you. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, you not worried about getting caught by eyewitnesses? So it's just like, I got the main question I got now is, did this person like actually know Matt? Like, why did the freak did they do this?
The young father who had relocated for a safer family life. Moments after exiting his vehicle, someone had fired a shot into the back of his head at point-blank range, ending his life instantly. For some inexplicable reason, though, it took the onlookers 11 minutes to call for an ambulance. They were all subsequently interviewed, and despite the incident occurring in broad daylight, none of them had gotten a look at the killer.
Well, that answered my question right there. Is all these people in the parking lot, but nobody said they seen nothing, even though I feel like somebody probably did. Let's go.
In all likelihood, neither had Matt. From the very beginning, detectives had very few leads to work with. By all accounts, Matt was a well-liked, down-to-earth family man with no enemies to speak of. As far as anyone knew, he didn't have a secret past or a secret mistress, and he was always fair and respectful to others. His slaying seemed completely senseless and unprovoked. Since none of the employees saw the perp's face or heard their voice, detectives turned their attention to the parking lot's most credible witnesses: the security cameras. This surveillance footage has never been released to the public, but, according to the authorities, this is what it showed. 20 minutes before Matt arrived for work that morning, a 2-door sports model Ford Explorer was caught on camera entering the parking lot. Seconds later, a white Ford Probe also entered. The Explorer appeared to follow the probe for a short time, tailing it as if playing cat and mouse. After about a minute or so, the Ford Probe parked up, and the Explorer left the lot. At 8:11 AM, just 1 minute before Matt arrived for work, the Explorer reappeared. The footage was too grainy to see the face of the driver or get a clear reading of the license plate. But regardless, the detectives watching the footage were filled with hope. Matt's slaying had no doubt been caught on camera, and in a few short moments, they'd see the face of the man or woman responsible. As the timestamp on the video hit 8:12 AM, Matt's rented Corsica entered the lot, and the Explorer, which had seemingly been lying in wait, tailed him. The tape showed Matt driving to another section of the car park, pursued closely by his soon-to-be killer. He turned a corner, applied the brakes, and parked in a blind spot. In a cruel twist of fate, Matt had stopped his vehicle just outside the camera's field of view, and as a result, the event and the perpetrator weren't caught on tape.
That is so effed up, man. What is the chances of that he would park the freaking car outside of the field of view of the camera when the actual killer got out? That is so effed up, because there is no way to know who actually did it just by that little grainy ass video of the car. You don't know who inside that car. Damn, man, that is so effed up.
Just 20 seconds after Matt was slain, though, that same Ford Explorer was seen leaving the parking lot. To this day, neither the vehicle nor its driver have been tracked down. Since the footage was in black and white, the exact colour of the Explorer remains unknown. All the authorities could deduce with certainty was that it wasn't black, white, dark blue or dark green, and that the car had been manufactured between 1991 and 1994. It also had a distinct black trim along its lower panel. Based on this surveillance footage, the investigators believe that the individual behind the wheel of this car was actively searching for Matt that morning. It's suspected that the driver mistook the Ford Probe for Matt's vehicle, hence why they tailed it shortly before the incident. Some have speculated whether Matt's slaying was the result of road rage, and whether he had simply ticked off the wrong guy at the wrong time. Personally though, I don't see how that could be the case, given that the Ford Explorer arrived at the scene 20 whole minutes before Matt did. Others have suggested that Matt's slaying had something to do with his time in the military. 11 months prior to this incident, a fellow soldier who served under Matt, one Sergeant Nicholas Gange, mysteriously went AWOL, disappearing from his barracks and leaving behind his wallet and keys. 10 months later, and just 2 weeks before Matt's life was taken, Sergeant Gange's body was found in the woods, about a mile from the barracks he had vanished from. His COD has never been fully explained. Curiously, Matt's military records also disappeared around the time of his untimely end. The Army's National Personnel Records Center couldn't locate his service file when asked to do so, stating they had either been removed, misplaced, or destroyed.
Okay, that's weird as fuck that his military records have just vanished out of nowhere and don't nobody know how or why or when or where. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I don't think it's no theory you can really come up with in this one to say who it was, man. This could have been pretty much anybody up under the sun who killed Matt, y'all. Like, there is no way I can lean on any theory just from the evidence we got, because we ain't got no freaking evidence. I hate these freaking unsolved mysteries, man, like this. We ain't got nothing, because that damn car, you couldn't see who was in that damn Ford Explorer. We have no idea. For all we know, that could have been a family member, it could have been a friend, could have been a co-worker, could have been any freaking body. Like Lazy Man said, could have been a road rage incident, even though I doubt that too, like Lazy Man said. But it could have been, though, man. Like, we have nothing to go on, and I don't think it's no theory that you really can come up with will lead you one way or the other. But we still got like 4 minutes left, so maybe the Lazy finna tell us something. So let's see.
Others still believe that Matt was taken out by his employers. A few months before Matt's life was taken, another employee at Applied Materials, Han Suk-yeong, also met with a grisly fate, stabbed in a motel room in Sunnyvale, just 1 mile from the company's headquarters. A 21-year-old nanny in New York later admitted to killing the man. However, some have speculated whether Han Suk-yoon's slaying was actually a hit. A way for the company to silence an outspoken employee who might have revealed some of their top secret research. Which brings us to Matt. He'd been dispatched of with a single shot to the head. Some investigators, and indeed Matt's own mother, believe that this was the work of a professional. Could that explain why all 20 employees in the parking lot failed to note any details about either the perp or his vehicle, and why it took them 11 minutes to summon help? With that said, the organization Matt worked for, Applied Materials, seemed to be a run-of-the-mill tech company in Silicon Valley, involved in the manufacture of semiconductors. Not exactly the type of business where somebody would need silencing. And besides, Matt was still in training at the time his life was taken, so even if his facility was involved in some top-secret tech production, he wouldn't have had much knowledge about it.
True.
According to the lead detective working the case, Matt's slaying had, in all likelihood, been a case of mistaken identity, with his killer holding a grudge against someone who drove a white Chevy Corsica. The car was a rental, and perhaps one that Applied Materials had used before. Could the previous driver have been the intended target? Could the killer have mistaken Matt's Chevy for another? Or could there be some missing piece of the puzzle that the authorities haven't uncovered yet?
And just like Lazy Man just asked them 3 questions, you can ask another 3,000 million kabillion questions as far as like, could it be this? Could it be that? Could it be that? Like, I just feel like this is one of those ones where we won't even get close to having a clue to what actually happened.
Well, since no new information has been released to the public, all we can really do is speculate.
Exactly.
Today, nearly 3 decades since his life was cruelly snuffed out, the identity of Matt Slayer remains unknown. A $100,000 award is offered to anyone with information that would lead to his or her capture. "Whoever did this to him, I want them to know what they've taken," said Matt's wife, Denise. "One minute, life was great. We had everything. And the next minute, it was shattered. I don't think Danielle even remembers him anymore. She was too little. I plan on showing her all the videos we have so that she knows what kind of a daddy she had. But she'll never know what it feels like for her daddy to hug her. I lost everything that day." Matt Flores seemed like a genuinely nice guy with his whole future ahead of him. One which he should have been able to enjoy with his family. And yet, that was taken away from him. Perhaps because he was in the wrong place, at the wrong time, in the wrong car. If that's true, then it goes to show that any one of us could, through no fault of our own, cross paths with the wrong person, and meet with a terrible fate on any given day, at any given time.
True.
So stay safe out there, and keep your wits about you.
True, Lazy Man. True. Like, anything can happen to anybody, my brothers and sisters. Long story short, short story long, man. Like, seriously, man. And I just... this one of those cold cases that you pretty much, even though you don't want to admit it, you know, like, this will never be solved. Like, there is nothing that we will ever know about this that will help solve it, y'all. I mean, being this back in 1994 with the footage that they had back then, just the technology and stuff, and there was like no evidence from the killer left on the scene other than this grainy footage of the car. It's just like this one right here. Like I said, man, there's so many different theories that people can throw out and say that maybe this is what happened, or this is who did it, or it was that about this or about that. But at the end of the day, man, you can come up with a lot of about this and about that when it comes to that, man. All I just say is rest in peace to him, man. Rest in peace to Matt Flores, bro. And It's just a sad case, y'all. That was just a sad case. And that footage was, lazy man. I was about to call him Mr. Ballin'. Cause that's how he acting right now, man. With that freaking, just the footage of that, man. And you know that is the freaking person that killed him. And you don't know in that footage, man. You know what I'm saying? And to this day, 94, 04, 14, 24. It's 30 freaking years later, and that damn footage still is just as disturbing as it was those 30 years ago to this day, just because of the fact we still don't know who freaking did it. It is just crazy, man. Rest in peace to Matt. In the first one, Caitlyn, can you not make it more obvious that you killed this lady? Like, seriously, man, her whole disappearing act that she tried to pull, trying to use her sister identity, selling the car of the one that had been found on the CCTV footage, riding past, Colin's house. I think that's his name. I keep wanting to call him Joe or something for some reason, but I think his name Colin. Ryan past his house, you sell that car, you change your identity, you freaking try to use your sister identity so you can leave the country. You know what I'm saying, man? You freaking change your nose and your mouth up, and your claim is because you trying to stay away from this guy when this guy ain't got no charges against him. You the one who look like you the crazy motherfucker in this situation. Like, you the one look like you a killer, but you claim you trying to stay away from somebody else. You the dangerous one, lady. You did that. Caitlyn did that, y'all. That's one of those ones where I'm pretty much, you can't be 100% sure, but I'm 99.9999999 some percent sure that she is. You know what I'm saying, man? Crazy to see that footage too, because it's just like, what are you doing over here? Why is your car riding past her house at the time of her freaking death? You can't explain it, lady. You can't freaking explain it. But I digress, my brothers and sisters. I ain't gonna go on no more. I wanted to say some more stuff about Colin, but Colin, I think that's his name, or is it Joe? Whatever it is, I wanted to say some more about him, but I'm gonna let y'all go now, man. I appreciate y'all coming back as always. We have been here long enough. Y'all make sure that y'all hit that like button. Y'all comment, subscribe, do all that. And come on back tomorrow for another That Chapter Wednesday.